How come some ideas spread like fire? How come some startups just exponentially grow? How come some small author in some part of the world writes a book and it becomes a bestseller overnight? Or how come a movie that is made by a group of college students or amateur filmmakers, shown in some film festival, suddenly becomes a global hit? Is it luck? Not exactly. This is what is explained by Malcolm Gladwell in his best-selling book, The Tipping Point. And what I love about this book is that he does not explain rocket science and big theories. He simply says that if you just make these small changes, these small tweaks to your project or your idea, things can actually grow exponentially. When I started my entrepreneurship journey, I always wanted to learn from the big guys, their hacks, their strategies, their secrets. But this book actually explained me, you don't need those secrets. What you need are those small things that they did, that small changes that they made every day that actually created this success over a period of time. So what does tipping point exactly mean? Tipping point means that something reaches to a threshold that it cannot then take it anymore and it starts overflowing. When this overflowing happens in both ways, good ways or bad ways, that the idea spreads, that the concept just grows. There are three key components that you will have to understand to grow an idea exponentially. Okay, first thing is the law of the few. The second thing is the stickiness factor, and the third thing is the power of context. Now, let me explain you each one by one in simpler terms. What do you mean by the law of the few? According to Malcolm Gladwell, what he says is that there are three kinds of people in the world who will actually help you, spread your idea, spread your concept. The first kind of people are the connectors. Now, who are these connectors? These connectors are predominantly the social media influencers, or these are the people who are very knowledgeable about a particular subject, and these are the people whom usually you or other people approach for taking advice on that particular subject, right? So these are the connectors. Second are the mavens. Now, who are the mavens? Mavens are again the social media influencers. They are again like connectors, but they are the ones who are more than willing to help others. They are the ones who would say, okay, you have this problem, let me solve it for you, let me help you, let me guide you. And the third kind of people are the salespeople. Again, very important. Now, the salespeople are those people who sometimes sell you those things that you really don't need ever, but they give such a beautiful pitch that you can't resist. Now, that sales pitch can be in person, or it can be through an advertising, or it can be through social media, images, anything. So, what Malcolm Gladwell actually says is that whenever you want this idea of yours, this business of yours, this concept of yours, this book of yours, this film of yours, or this art form of yours to exponentially grow and reach people, you have to target these three types of individuals in your own little way. You will have to speak to them, you will have to communicate with them, you will have to explain the concept behind your ideas, and these are the people then who will spread your idea into their network and the idea grows. Then is the stickiness factor. What do you mean by the stickiness factor? Does it ever happen that you hear a song and you just can't get that song out of your head? Or does it happen that you see some advertisement and you just can't get that advertisement out of your head? Or you just see some image and that image kind of stays with you throughout the day. Now, why does this happen? It predominantly happens because that image, that advertisement, that concept had this stickiness factor. Now, whenever you create something that you want to grow and reach the masses, you have to take care that you create that stickiness factor. And here is what Malcolm Gladwell says wonderfully in this book, that if you want to know the secret of creating a stickiness factor in your content, it's experiment. That's it. You have to, by trial and error, understand what works best for your kind of a content, what works best for your kind of a business, what works best for your kind of a domain, right? All my life I kept on thinking about, oh, there is this some secret formula that the big entrepreneurs use to grow their businesses. No, it's always trial and error. It's always learning. And the more you learn, the more you understand stuff, and it helps you to create that stickiness factor, which will help your audience or your customers, your clients stay on to your company or your product. The last thing is the power of context, something very easy but overly looked after. What we understand by the power of context is, let's take an example that you are a singer and you just recorded a very beautiful song and you want that song to reach as many people as possible. Now, would it really help if you come and tell an entrepreneur like me? Not really. But just imagine that you go into a circle where you have musicians and you have singers and you showcase your talent in front of them. And these are the people who then spread this idea in their network, right? So the power of context means you have to surround yourself with experts, superstars, or people from your domain. If I'm an entrepreneur and I'm an educationist entrepreneur, I make educational products, I make training products, then I should not necessarily be connecting with entrepreneurs from the tech industry, right? Of course, I can be in touch with them, but if I want my idea to spread, I should be surrounded by other educationists, other people who have products similar to mine, right? So we gel, we understand each other, and then we help each other and support each other to spread our products and services. I love book reviews. Book reviews are great. It kind of gives you the entire summary of the book in about 5 or 6 minutes. But if you ask me personally, after taking the book review from me or anyone, you should actually buy that book. Read it yourself, because it's your domain that you understand. Your mind actually then starts thinking and visualizing things when you start reading and creating ideas to grow, right? I hope this helps you. Thank you so much. Go grab the copy now.